What is up, bros? I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Caleb.
And we're a couple of bros on a mission to give you guys the most detailed movie reviews out there with as little bias as possible. Welcome to the All Bros. This week on the podcast, we got some, I feel quite a bit to talk about when it comes to weekly watch.
Yeah, we've been busy. We have been busy.
But yeah, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And then after that, we'll jump right into our headliner of the evening, which will be our breakdown of Venom: The Last Dance.
Hell yes.
So what do you say we get started?
I say let's do it.
All right.
Hey, this is Mikey T.
And Grant.
And Billy.
And we are failing
Hollywood.
Yeah, you're listening to the All Bros podcast with
Caleb and Jonathan Rose.
Or just Rose.
Is it Rose or Jonathan?
I don't know. Caleb calls him Rose. He introduces himself Jonathan. It's a thing.
But he's as sweet as a rose.
He's a very nice person.
And as murderous as a Jonathan.
Yes.
That commercial, I love it.
That's a good one.
You never thought that my name would be so confusing to people, but here we are.
Dude, you would think, and anytime people get confused by it, because I use your name so often.
Yeah.
Like anytime someone refers to a Rose as a female, I think I've only run into one female that with the name Rose, and it threw me off. I was just like, that's weird, because I always associate it as a man's name.
Oh, that's
and I have
funny.
to take a second. I'm like, wait, I got that backwards.
Wait a damn minute. Oh, that's fantastic. But yeah, so let's get started with a weekly watch. Like I said, we watched a lot of shit. Goddamn.
Yeah, we did.
But
holy balls.
But that means it's gonna be fun to talk about it all.
Hell yeah.
So starting off, I can't remember who's first.
You were.
Okay. So I watched a lot of horror stuff with it, leading up to Halloween. And so my first one, I actually was able to catch this in theaters. Finally saw Terrifier 3, and holy shit. You know what? The first, if you guys listened to the last episode, I talked how I felt about the first two. The first one, pretty brutal, holy shit. The second one, oh my God, kicked it up to an 11. And then I feel this one is I can't decide if it's either at the same level as the second one or maybe just a little higher because of what they do in the opening.
Damn, dude. With the shit that you were explaining, I was unsure if they were ever going to be able to reach that level.
No, dude,
where do you go when you're already at the top?
Right? Exactly. And so, I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a scene at the beginning with Art dressed as Santa Claus that, as he's doing his thing, they give you the idea of something that's about to happen. And I remember just sitting there because I was the only one in the theater for the first 20 minutes. And then there were, before I get to that, I just want to talk about my theater experience with this really quickly. So the first 20 minutes, maybe half hour, were great. It was only me in there. It was so nice. I had, soda, popcorn. It was just great. I loved it. And then a half hour in, these two teens who clearly were not 17. So yeah, they snuck into this movie.
Probably why they were 20 minutes late.
Yeah. So I'm assuming, if I had to guess, they probably bought tickets to the Wild Robot, and maybe and I'm assuming Terrifier 3 was playing right next door. I don't know. I actually didn't I didn't look what other movies were playing nearby. So they snuck in 20, 30 minutes late, and they would just not stop talking. And thankfully, the movie was super loud, louder than I'm used to, honestly. The sound was freaking turned at the level that you get at XD. Which what, for what was happening, I wasn't mad because of that, I could tune these two teens out and actually still enjoy the movie. So they were there for about 15, 20 minutes. And then they just decided to leave. And I'm like, thank you. Thank goodness. And then probably like not even 10 minutes later, two other people walk in, a couple, and I'm assuming it's the couple that had bought tickets behind me, because it was me and then two people in the back row to the left, but they never showed. So I'm assuming it's those two, or maybe those two canceled their tickets. Anyway, so those two come in, and they also do not stop talking. Thankfully, they actually are talking about the movie, because the teens were just talking whatever they wanted. They were just talking nonsense. These two were actually talking about the movie, which I will say, like, I appreciate you. You still shouldn't talk during a movie, but at least
it's more acceptable, but
Yeah.
not. It's like lesser of the two evils. If you're
Yeah.
going to talk, at least you're talking about the movie, but still,
Yeah.
shut up.
Exactly. So there was that, and then they were speaking at a much more hushed tone than the two teens were, so it was a lot easier for me to drown them out. And also, they didn't even stay until the movie ended. So like, I think they left like 10 minutes before the movie ended. I'm just like, what? Like, because I'm assuming those two bought tickets, because yeah, they definitely looked of age, everything like that. So I'm assuming that those two did buy tickets. They just showed up late. So I'm thinking, like, why the hell would you? I'm assuming the reason why you walked out before the movie ended was it was too much for you, which completely understandable. These movies are really effed up. But just the fact that I had two bad interactions in one single freaking movie viewing, like, what the
Dude,
hell?
theater experiences are so hit and miss nowadays.
They
Like,
really
it's either a complete win or it's a complete and utter loss.
exactly.
Like, people just like forgot theater etiquette. I mean, not saying that
did.
their etiquette was good to begin with, but dude, we could straight up have a whole freaking episode dedicated to theater etiquette.
Well, yeah, we really could. Yeah.
Dude, funny enough.
Oh shit.
Looking at our calendar though, we have a week like after next week when we record Wild Robot, we don't have a movie to do. And
Should we just dedicate an episode to
and
theater etiquette?
Jason Almy has been talking about wanting to do an episode with us.
Dude,
A theater etiquette
yes.
episode would be the bomb.
Oh, dude, that would be so much fun to discuss with him. Dude, if he's down, I'd say let's do it.
Dude. Yeah, on the books. On the
Hell
book.
yeah. Hell yeah, let's do it.
That would be fantastic. You know what? I'm going to hit him up right now while you continue talking about this.
All right, hell yeah. Okay, so getting back to the movie. So yeah, like I said, I can't decide if this one is either on the same level as Terrifier 2 when it comes to its gore, or if it's like a little notch above, because the opening, with Art dressed as Santa Claus, the whole atmosphere, this isn't spoiling it, because like we saw it in the trailer, like he's at a family's house, like days before Christmas, and there's something that happens that they prelude, not they prelude into it, but like they don't show it, which, you know what, kudos to the director, because it's just like, yeah, I would not show that. Kudos to him. But like when Art is heading to do this certain thing, I'm thinking there's no way they're not going to do this. There is no freaking way. And it happens, and my jaw was on the floor for a good couple minutes right after, because I didn't think that they could freaking push this series pushes my limits when it comes to gore, and I never thought that a horror film could do that, but Terrifier does. So kudos to them.
Oh man,
because Caleb knows I can handle gore. Like it doesn't bother me whatsoever. But yeah, this movie, this whole franchise, this trilogy of movies has definitely pushed my my limits when it comes to gore. And yeah, just that opening, like holy shit, like just set the whole tone for the movie. And I ended up loving it. This is my favorite out of the three. This one is just so much fun. I will say though, like it's on the same level as the previous two. So personally, I don't think that you need to go see it in theaters. I think this is perfectly fine seeing it home. Ergo, why I would give it a stream it recommendation. Because like I said, with the first two, I think this would be really fun movie night, just getting a couple of your buddies together and just watch people get absolutely mutilated by Art the Clown.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Terrifier 3, so far I think it's the best in the franchise. And I know the director, God, I forget his name.
Is it Damien Leone?
Yes, thank you.
It's on the goddamn poster, Rose.
Oh, shut up. I forgot that, okay? Kiss my ass.
Shit.
But yeah, so Damien Leone has said that I think he has like 2 more movies in him. I think that's all that he wants to make. So he only wants to go up to Terrifier 5.
Dude, good on you for knowing when your franchise is done.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, for how much this movie made, like I don't think that any studio. I think Bloody Disgusting, I think, is the one that produces these movies. I don't think that they're gonna tell him no when it comes to a 4 and 5.
Dude, when someone's doing well with like, would you say this is like low budget horror or like lower end?
I would say lower end, but like, but not by that much because I feel like it still looks really good. The acting's pretty good. Yeah, like I would not classify this as like a low budget cheesy horror film. Like,
No, not necessarily cheesy, but would you put like say it's on the lower budget end, or would like what was the budget for these movies?
so the budget for this one was only $2 million.
Only 2?
Yeah, and
Dude, that's definitely on the low end then.
yeah, but its box office $64 million.
Holy ball sack.
That is a nice return.
Yeah, dude, the profitable industry is freaking horror.
Oh, dude, like seriously. Like even if your movie like sucks ass, like you know, a lot of people would say Halloween Ends does, which I still have a love-hate relationship with that. You can't deny that that shit made money. It was still made for around, I think 30, it was like 30 million. It grossed over 100 million. It was still profitable.
Damn.
So yeah, horror is like the rare genre of movies that even if like your movie absolutely sucks, it's very unlikely that it's not going to turn a profit because they're so cheap to make.
Yeah. Well, can't argue with the numbers.
Yeah. But yeah, so Terrifier 3, definitely the best one so far, and I can't wait to see what Art the Clown gets up to next.
Hell yeah. I hope that he like the director like sticks with it and he doesn't get greedy after 5. And like the only exception is if like, oh, while we were making movie X, I had an idea for the next movie, and so I want to do a 6th, or like I want to continue the story. Like only if you are just struck with the inspiration, but you have to state that. Just say, hey,
Yeah.
I was inspired by this movie or the process of making this movie, and I found a way to continue it in a way that I feel is still true to the original vision.
Yeah, I agree.
Versus it being like, oh, we want another Terrifier movie, like pump one out. It's like, no.
Let's not turn this into Saw, please.
Yeah.
Or early days Saw.
Early days Saw.
Yeah. But yeah, so next up on the list, I watched Freddy vs. Jason. I haven't watched this in actually a couple of years. But God, this movie is so much fun. Freaking the development hell that this movie went through is very fascinating. And the fact that we actually got this damn movie is a miracle in and of its own. Like truly, like if you ever have an afternoon that or like 20 minutes that you're free, Caleb, like I could send you a video and you can just find out like why this movie was such a pain in the ass to get made.
Dude, I can imagine mixing two different icons like this would be a freaking chore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to watch that video.
Okay, yeah, I'll send it to you. But yeah, so the movie, just as fun as I remember watching this when I was a kid. God, I remember like freaking like getting the VHS and then the DVD eventually. I remember wanting to go see this in theaters, I think with my sister. But our grandma was just like, no, we're not gonna go see a rated R slasher movie. I'm like, but come on, this is my thing. This is what I love. And yeah, it didn't happen, but that's okay.
I
But
was like, your grandmother knew who you were, right?
not when it comes to that stuff.
Oh no.
No.
It's like, surprise, Granny, I've seen
Yeah.
worse.
But yeah, so the way that they make these two icons come together, I feel makes complete sense. Freddy resurrecting Jason to bring fear back to Elm Street, and then it just kind of goes, shit hits the fan, and so they have to battle each other. The humans aren't great, but we don't come to these movies for the human characters. We come to these movies to watch these two horror icons literally beat the shit out of each other. And I feel that this movie delivers that in spades. There is one scene that you know, I know they're both serial killers, but Freddy plays dirty in this movie and it pisses me off. I don't know if I've ever told you like how much this pisses me off.
I'm sure you've mentioned it because we've watched this movie together before.
That is true. So there's a scene, and like this isn't spoiling anything because like, you know, like they fight a lot during the movie.
Dude,
And this isn't like saying
like really old too.
that's true. And I'm not saying who won. But I feel clearly there is a winner, even though people say it's a tie. It's bullshit. But there is a part when Freddy just keeps freaking just going after Jason. Jason's on the floor, and he turns Jason over, takes two of his claws, and sticks them into his eyes. I feel that is too far, personally. Maybe it's just because Jason is my second favorite. Michael Myers is number one. And I especially like this Jason, the Jason in Freddy versus Jason, I love the most. Nothing against Kane Hodder. He's a great Jason, but I love the actor that they picked to play Jason Voorhees here. But just, yeah, I felt that Freddy played dirty with that. That has always pissed me off.
Okay. Were you expecting a fair fight?
No.
It's a fight to the death, dude, and Freddy's got freaking knife fingers. That's just kind of a given.
I know, but Jason's vision isn't great to begin with. So, like, Freddy, why you gotta be an asshole?
Then it's not much of a loss now, is it?
Oh man.
Dude, I want to quote freaking 8 Crazy Nights right now. That's a technical foul. Like, you can't have that in a freaking battle to the death.
I beg to differ.
In a battle to the death, there are no rules.
Yeah, all right, that's true. I just still feel that that was uncalled for by Freddy, and I will die on that. I don't think anyone's ever going to agree with me.
I mean, you can die on it all you want. It's not like it mattered in the end.
Fair, all right, fair enough. But yeah. Anyway, if you guys haven't seen this movie and you're a huge horror fan, what the hell are you doing with your life? Like, this is freaking the infinity war of horror. The horror genre, freaking Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees crossing paths. Like, this was badass, and it still is badass.
Hell yeah.
And the fact that this is Robert Englund's last performance as Freddy Krueger, I feel makes it even more special.
I would agree.
So, right. So even though I never got to see this on the big screen, I would love to see this on the big screen because I feel that this kind of movie warrants seeing on the big screen. So Freddy vs. Jason, $5 Tuesday.
Hell yeah.
And then so the week of Halloween, Cinemark was showing well, actually, I think it was like a couple weeks. They were showing like certain Halloween movies, and Wednesday, October 30th, and then Thursday, October 31st, Halloween. They were showing two movies that I had to make sure that I got to see on the big screen. So first up, we'll just go with Halloween, which I saw on Halloween. Like, what better way to spend Halloween than watching the original Halloween? But so this was my second time seeing this on the big screen. Just as good seeing it the first time. I feel that this is, for how classic this horror film is, you need to see it on the big screen. Because the one part that I just especially always love seeing on the big screen is that opening with that one shot of Michael going to kill his sister. I just love that. And yeah, it's like, there's not a lot to say about Halloween because I feel most everybody has seen this. At least, usually, if there's one horror movie, a classic horror film that someone's seen, it's usually Halloween, for how much it has shaped the horror and slasher genre. What sucked about this viewing is there were, and during because I sat not like the front row, but like the row before you like actually like go off into like you're like having to stare up at the screen row, if that makes sense.
Right.
Okay. During the movie, I could hear like a little bit of giggling in the back. I'm like, okay, I don't understand why this is funny. But whatever. So the movie ends, of course I loved it. And so getting ready to leave, walking out of the auditorium, there's these couple, I'm assuming, I don't know if they snuck in and they were high school kids or they were of age. I don't know. But all I heard was them just absolutely talking shit about this movie, saying, wow, that movie was god awful. This was shit. Like, what? That wasn't even scary. And one of the girls chimed in, was just like, well, it was made in the 70s. You got to give it some slack. And he's like, wow, I just can't believe we came to see this. This was just shit. What the hell was this? And freaking, I had to bite my tongue walking past these kids.
You uncultured piece of shit.
Yeah, I had to bite my tongue so hard because nobody disrespects Halloween like that. The horror film that not only shaped the slasher genre, because if it weren't for Halloween, we wouldn't have the slasher genre, but redefined the horror genre. If it weren't for John Carpenter's Halloween, we wouldn't have the horror films that we have today. In my opinion, I don't think that we would. Most of them.
Yeah.
So yes, there are some parts that are cheesy.
Yeah.
But it was made in 1978.
Yeah. Obviously, this movie is not going to hold up. A lot of the movies from the late 70s, early 80s don't.
Yeah. One part that I will always, laugh at is, and I'm sure you remember this, and I might have told you just how I think it's funny now. During the opening scene, when Michael goes to kill Judith, when he's stabbing her, he literally, the camera pans over to his arm, and he's watching himself stab her. And I can just imagine him being just like, wow, I'm 6 years old, and look at my form, man. I am really going to be a serial killer when I get older.
Gosh.
That I don't know, that part I find hilarious. And like, that's not me bagging on the movie. I just think that's really funny. But yeah, like, people talking shit about
that
this.
kid doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
Right?
Like, obviously, a freaking movie that old isn't going to hold up to the horror movies of today. Obviously, you dumb piece of shit.
Exactly.
Like, why don't you go back and color in the lines, you freaking kindergartner?
You know what was because I don't know about you, but sometimes if you've watched a movie so many times, you like to like try to take something different from it every time. Do you feel that way?
Yeah.
So with how many times I watched Halloween, I can't even count since I saw this movie when I was like 6 years old. But this viewing, considering this takes place in 1978 in Illinois, or Haddonfield, Illinois, but still Illinois, this is how like messed up I feel my brain is. I was picturing, like, for the kind of honestly like layout that Des Plaines had in Illinois, where John Wayne Gacy lived, I was imagining, hey, this is how it looked in 1978, where Gacy lived.
Oh my hell! Well, dude, wasn't this not even shot in Illinois?
I don't think it actually. Yeah, I don't think it was, but I feel it looks like it. I don't know, from what I've seen of like, street views of where his house was, just, like other parts of Des Plaines, Illinois. I feel that I don't now I feel like this is stupid that I did this. God damn it. Because I forgot about that. But I don't know. I thought that for what they did do a good job making it look like Illinois. So you got to give them that.
Fair. Honestly, I would say one of the movie that I feel would represent that location a bit better or a bit more accurately would probably be Black Phone. Like, you remember,
Oh yeah, that's true.
like, that environment, I felt kind of at least that old-timey Chicago vibe.
Okay, how did I forget this? Yeah, so the original film was filmed in Southern California.
Yeah. Well, they had to
which
freaking
did-
fake everything. Like, they had to fake the leaves. They had to fake,
Yeah, that's
like, they had
true.
to fake
'Cause
everything. That's my favorite little bit of, like, tidbit, that they had to go and, like, buy colored paper.
that is
fake the
cool.
leaves.
And this is okay. So, like, what I did might come across as stupid, but I feel like you said, for how good they did making this place look like Illinois, they fooled me, because I completely forgot about that freaking fact when it came to Halloween. So fools on me, but I still stand by the fact that like it was cool seeing Illinois in 1978, because I feel that they did a great job making it look like Illinois. But speaking of that, there's actually another Halloween movie that they had to do the same thing for, because Halloween 4, the Return of Michael Myers, was shot here in Utah, most of it. And considering that they had to go through like this, I think like they shot it like during the winter so that they could make the October release date. And so like the pumpkins that you see in the background are like squashes that they had to make look like pumpkins, spray paint them orange. Yeah, so like freaking like when they're out on Halloween night, it's like freaking 20 degrees.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And freaking so the gas station that Loomis catches Michael at, where he kills the mechanic for his coveralls. So you could actually go visit it. It's still there, and like they've actually shown Halloween 4 there, like on a projector. It's really freaking cool.
Sick.
But as Michael's driving away, they didn't cut it enough, so you could totally see that it says next exit Lehigh, Utah, or something like that.
Oh my gosh. That's
Ugh,
fantastic.
right. But yeah, so yeah, Halloween I feel needs to be experienced on the big screen because it is that important of a film. So I would say a $5 Tuesday. Hell, I would even go upwards of full price if you're a huge horror fan that hasn't experienced this movie on the big screen. But for anyone that is first getting into horror movies and just wants to experience the OG, yeah, it's cool watching it at home, but I think it's something that you should experience in theaters.
I'd give you
So,
that.
yeah. All right. Last but not, I think this is my last one, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Okay. So the day before, October 30th, Cinemark was showcasing Bride of Chucky. And it's kind of weird that this was the Chucky movie that they showed, because they did a popcorn bucket for Chucky, but it wasn't him all stitched up. It was like just like the classic good guys look.
Lazy.
Right? So like you think that they'd want to show the original Child's Play or Child's Play 2 or Child's Play 3, these movies where he's just the regular good guy doll, he's still fully intact, not Bride and So On where he's stapled up, which I'm not knocking these movies because freaking I love the stapled up look of Chucky. It looks so badass. But just it felt kind of weird. And oh my god, I would have lost my shit if they were showcasing Child's Play 2, because it is a dream to see that one on the big screen. But yeah, so Bride of Chucky. So this kind of made me sad because for Halloween there was a good amount of people in the auditorium, which was awesome. Bride of Chucky, there was only me and these two ladies behind me, or like a couple rows behind me. I'm just like, damn, nobody in Utah loves Chucky.
Man, that's
I'm not
lame.
surprised, but it's still sad. But either way, it was super cool seeing Bride of Chucky on the big screen. This was my first like OG Chucky movie on the big screen. Me and Caleb saw the Child's Play remake a couple years ago on the big screen, but this is like my first like OG Don Mancini Chucky movie on the big screen, and it was freaking awesome. Loved it. Bride of Chucky is up there for me when it comes to the best Chucky movies, and freaking when they pan out, when Tiffany is done putting Chucky back together and they pan out and you see him in all of his glory, seeing that shit on the big screen, I just couldn't help but smile because that was so freaking cool. Yeah, it was just great. Yeah, like I said, Bride of Chucky, one of the best Chucky movies in my opinion. It was great seeing it on the big screen. I will say though, I don't think that this one warrants seeing on the big screen. I think you're perfectly fine if you want to stream Bride of Chucky. Honestly, I could probably say that about most Chucky movies. I feel maybe like the original Child's Play is something that you should experience on the big screen because it's the original, kind of like how I feel with Halloween. But considering that Bride of Chucky is the fourth film in the franchise, you know, if you're first starting out with Chucky, I hope you're not starting out with this one because you're going to be confused as all hell. But just, I don't think that Chucky is something that needs to be seen on the big screen. If you can, great. And like, I'm glad that I was finally able to experience this. But I don't think it warrants seeing it on the big screen. So stream it for Bride of Chucky.
Fair enough. Dude, like with big franchises like Chucky or Saw, Halloween, a lot of those movies don't need to be experienced on the big screen. Other than the first, if you're a fan of the franchise.
Yes.
Like I would love to go see the first Saw on the big screen. The other ones
Dude,
after that, not really.
You had a chance, man. They were showcasing it for the 20th anniversary a couple weeks ago.
Not here.
I'm sure they were.
Let me see.
Yeah, it was like I mean, this was like last week, so it was like October 23rd and something. I think it was like the 23rd and 20th.
Oh, the 20th and 23rd. God damn it. Dude, I never freaking get the updates on like what's showing in like the what's it called? The throwback.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah, like the only time I ever see those is when I go into the movies, and then I'll get like the update, and it's usually like the ones that I want to see are usually like in the past.
You're just like a freaking course.
Yeah, that's freaking story of my life right there. Damn, that sucks. Oh, they were showing the OG Halloween here too.
Ah, damn.
That blows. Oh, and they were doing Hocus Pocus too.
I think they also did a Nightmare Before Christmas.
I'm not seeing Nightmare.
Not really.
They
You're
did
AMC,
Beetlejuice.
right?
Huh?
Are you AMC?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it was just Cinemark. I thought it was all of them that were doing these certain movies, but guess not.
Yeah, they had Terrifier 3, Coraline in 3D, Smile 2, and Nosferatu.
Oh, the OG.
Is that the OG? Oh no. That one's the wait, what's that on that list? That one doesn't come out till Christmas.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
All right, never mind. Don't listen to me.
Which I think that is so ballsy, releasing Nosferatu during Christmas.
Dude, right?
Like,
there's another one that was getting
it.
released on Christmas. I forget what movie. Let me see. December.
I really wish they would have released Terrifier 3 for Christmas. I get why they did it for Halloween, and for how successful it was. I'm glad they did, but it would have been so much fun to see this actually during the Christmas season in theaters.
Yeah, let's see what movie. There was a movie coming out on Christmas. No, it's not Sonic. There's another one that I was just like, yo, what? Nope, it's not that Lord of the Rings one. Oh, speaking of, that Lord of the Rings movie looks sick.
That does look good.
Okay. Let me just look up the movie Insider because I'm freaking stupid. Okay, never mind. I don't know what movie I was thinking. Oh, maybe it was that Bob Dylan one.
Oh yeah, with Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah,
That looks pretty good. I just want to check
it
that one out.
does. It looks really good. But yeah, December's going to be sick because I definitely want to go see Craven. Then I kind of want to check out that Lord of the Rings movie. Then there was a couple others. Or maybe that was it. Maybe the other ones were on streaming. Because there's a couple other movies that were coming out streaming that I was like, ooh, yes. Dude, Mufasa is about to get riggedy wrecked by Sonic 3.
Yes, it is. And I can't wait to watch.
Oh, man. But yeah, anyway. I think it's on to my movies.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
up.
I'll just do these really quick. So I rewatched Sing yesterday, just because Iris wanted to watch this movie after we watched the Thriller special, and the Thriller special was all right. It was just them performing the Thriller song, and
okay.
there wasn't really much of a story or anything.
All right.
It was them putting on a play, so people were coming into their theater and everything, sitting down. They did a little a Thriller intro, and the intro was cool. And then it's after the performance and everything, they're all going to a party at the Giant Lion's house, Clay. And then they're just like, ooh, chemical spill, and they go there, and it turns out everyone's getting possessed by this chemical spill shit, and then they just continue on with the song.
Huh.
Yeah, and everyone kind of takes turns singing little bits and pieces of the song, which I think they got the OG cast to do. But yeah, the only one that wasn't affected was Buster Moon. So he was the one just kind of leading on the story, but he didn't even say all that much. It felt like they could have taken his dialogue from cut clips and stuff of the first two.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So it's all right. It wasn't anything special, but yeah. So we watched that, and then we watched the first Sing because it was on Netflix, and really good. Had a great time with this one. I'm giving this a $5.
Hell yeah.
I think this is one that I feel is worth seeing on the big screen with some of at least with some of the visuals. Because I remember I was sitting there and I was just like, man, that doesn't look like how I remember it. And I was like, because I built it up in my brain because it was theatrical. But yeah, giving that $5. Great cast, great story, great everything. I dig this movie a lot. Then we watched Sonic the Hedgehog after that because she wanted to watch Sonic. And I asked her, I'm like, do you want to watch the one with Knuckles or do you want to watch the one with him by himself? And she's like, I think I want to watch the one with himself this time. And I'm like, all right, cool. So we watched this. Kind of the same story with Sing. There was a lot that I was just like, because I don't remember the last time I saw it on a bigger screen, because the last time that we watched it was during that the watch along that we did.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, every other Sonic movie I've seen since then has been 2, and 2 looks amazing, but Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that one on like a bigger screen because I watch it on like our monitors and shit, and it's so small, so I kind of let a lot of that shit slide. But yeah, there was a lot that I was just like, that doesn't look as good as it did on the big screen. Like when Robotnik like is slowly coming out of the ring portal in his little ship and everything.
Oh yeah.
I remember that being super freaking dope in theaters, and it just didn't have the same impact.
Damn.
Yeah, so I'm saying that this one's definitely one you want to see on $5. Sonic 2, I would say, is better for smaller screens. I only got halfway through that one, so that's why I didn't include it here. But yeah, the Sonic's definitely a freaking $5. I love this movie.
Hell yeah.
And then this is one that we both watched this week. So we did a complete rewatch of the Venom trilogy. So obviously starting off with the first Venom, freaking awesome.
Yeah, super good origin story.
Oh, amazing. The only thing that doesn't hold up with this movie is the fact that the bad guy is just a gray Venom.
Yeah. So like during the final fight, you kind of lose track of who's who.
Yeah, it gets real confusing real quick. But other than that, everything else is pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like Tom Hardy was truly the perfect pick for Eddie Brock.
Yeah. And I love the fact that he plays Eddie Brock and does the voice for Venom.
What's crazy is so in this one, it's like a different guy doing the voice of Venom, but for 2 and 3, he did step in to do the voice because the guy that did the voice in this one passed away.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I thought he
Yeah.
did the voice. Maybe I'm just getting confused because like that's weird. I would have sworn he did it for the first.
I swear I remember reading that somewhere that like the guy that like played Venom like the most or like the most recent came back to voice him in this first one, but then he unfortunately passed away, and so Tom Hardy took over the role of doing both Eddie and Venom in 2 and 3. I could be wrong.
Yeah, let me pull that up because I would have sworn 2018 is that's this Venom, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it says that Tom Hardy's voicing.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, Tom Hardy's credited with Eddie Brock and Venom.
Where did I get this?
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, what I was watching interviews between, like, with Woody Harrelson for Let There Be Carnage, and he was saying that him and Tom Hardy were doing a lot of back and forth in regards to the voice for Carnage.
Huh.
Because he's just like, yeah, so like Tom Hardy did the voice for Venom, and so I was like approaching him and just kind of because I think they originally wanted Tom to do the voice for Carnage too.
Yeah.
Or they were approaching it because Woody Harrelson was just like not wanting to do it because he's like, I've never done voice acting like that before or whatever. And so him and Tom Hardy were talking about it a lot and just like, yo, you got to do it. Like, it's really good. And like, it'll just add, like, kind of get you in the mindset of both characters and like whatever. And like, it'll help you out a lot. And so he helped Woody Harrelson find his Carnage voice. At least that's how he
I don't know where the hell
it.
Wait, both actors who voiced. Wait.
Yeah, are you sure it's not the guy who voiced him in the game?
Oh, here we go. Wait. So it says so Tom Hardy didn't do it himself in the first movie. At least for Venom, veteran voice actor Brad Venable was also one of the voices of Venom in the 2019 film, but was uncredited. Okay, so maybe that's what I heard. But the person that I heard it from, like, freaking, like, outstretched the truth. So it was so technically it was Tom Hardy and this guy in the first one, but the other guy was just uncredited.
Okay.
Because they
Why
point
was he
out
uncredited?
I don't know, because they point out like how his voice is like a little different in the second one, and Tom Hardy explained that he deliberately changed the voice of Venom in Let There Be Carnage in order to reflect the symbiote's development throughout the Venom movie's overarching plot.
Okay.
So though as guttural as ever, Venom in the sequel spoke with a more upbeat lilt that lacked much of the previous menace. Okay.
All right. Fair
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
enough. Interesting that they would like. I wonder how they split that up then.
Yeah.
Like if
I
they
just
gave
wanna know
Tom
who-
Hardy the full credit.
Yeah. I just want to know who the hell I got that freaking misinformation from. Because you're an asshole. The guy is not dead.
Yeah. This movie, a far superior story from 2.
At least.
But
Yes, definitely.
the antagonist design is better in 2 than this one. But the action in
Okay,
both of them is freaking prime.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, so we ended up
Okay,
giving
you know
this a
what? Actually,
$5
I just-
Tuesday because this would be so much fun to see in theaters again.
I want to make sure that I'm not pulling it out of my ass, and I want to make sure. Wait, did he? Shit, did he actually pass away? I'm gonna feel like such an asshole.
Did he?
1 second. Oh my god, yeah, he did.
Oh.
Oh my god, I'm such an asshole. I'm so sorry. Wow.
Well, that's not your
I
fault.
am
You
such
didn't
a
know.
dick. Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
I mean, you
Okay.
did know,
May
and
he
then you
rest in
denied
peace.
it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Either way, I
Anyway.
apologize. He did a great job from what we heard from him, and may he rest in peace.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, $5 Tuesday for the first Venom. Then for Venom, Let There Be Carnage, there was a big disconnect. Like a very big disconnect.
Dude, I forgot how freaking short this movie is. Like, if you're not including credits, because the Venom movies have some of the longest credits I've ever seen.
Dude, no
because,
shit.
Because of the post and end credit scenes that all 3 of these movies have. But like, yeah, freaking before, I think like this movie's runtime is like 1 hour and 40. Before the credits start rolling, it finishes at like 1 hour 24.
Damn.
Yeah, this is a short ass movie.
It feels long.
In some parts, yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah, this is definitely the weaker of the trilogy. Carnage was sick though. Carnage
Yes,
looked
absolutely.
so freaking cool. He was a good villain for Venom, but it's just the story that they had was lacking. I think they tried to incorporate too much of like a mystery or whatever the hell you want to call it with Cletus Cassidy and his girlfriend.
Yeah, honestly, I wish that they would have just done without the girlfriend. I'm sorry. And just focused completely on Cletus.
Yeah.
I didn't really need Shriek in here.
Not really. It was too much.
Yep.
It was a little too much.
And it's sad considering that Andy Serkis directed this movie.
I know. Action wise, dude, he nailed it. Like the action here was amazing. It's just everything else fell short, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we ended up giving this a nothing better to do recommendation.
Yeah, that hurt.
Yeah, a little bit. But anyway,
yeah.
I believe that was it.
All right, hell yeah. That was a lot to get through. Whew.
Yeah.
But hey, that's okay. So Caleb, what do you say we get started with our headliner of the evening?
I say let's do it.
All right, so jumping right into our headliner of the evening, which, like I said, will be Venom: The Last Dance. Caleb, do you want to let people know how we break down movies on this podcast?
I would love to. If you are new to our breakdown system, we have split movies into 8 different categories that we individually score to come to a final All Bros letter grade. The 8 categories that we score are story, writing, acting, character development, effects, music, costumes, and then we give it our own personal score at the very end. All of those numbers get magically added up and spit through our algorithm and give us a letter grade to compare this movie to others of a similar grade. And yeah, it also gives us a percentage to see what the official ranking is, but that doesn't matter nearly as much as the letter grade does itself. If you have not seen Venom: The Last Dance, Rose is about to spoil the entire freaking movie for you in our favorite segment that we like to call Reading with Rose. So, without further ado, Johnny, would you like to...
That was
What?
weird.
Wasn't that
It's-
weird?
It's been so long since you've called me anything but Rose that it feels weird.
Fair enough. Anyway,
Uh,
would you like to spoil this entire movie for everyone?
I would love to. Rose would love to.
Rose would love to. Yeah, let me.
Uh,
All right, here we go. Spoiler warning has been posted now. So if you listen beyond
Bam.
this point and anything is spoiled for you, sucks to suck.
Yep. All right. So Eddie Brock and the Venom symbiote are drunk in a bar in Mexico. Still on the run after their recent battle with Carnage. The murder of Patrick Mulligan makes international headlines, with Eddie being named the prime suspect, forcing him to set out to New York City and attempt to clear his name. Not known to either of them, a creature known as Xenophage has begun tracking Eddie and Venom. The recent events catch the attention of Rex Strickland, a soldier who oversees Imperium, a government operation at the site of the soon-to-be decommissioned Area 51 for the capture and study of other symbiotes that have fallen to Earth. Mulligan, revealed to have survived his encounter with Carnage, is captured after being left for dead by another symbiote, who eluded Strickland's soldiers. He is bonded with one of many contained symbiotes and questioned by Imperium researchers Dr. Teddy Payne and Sadie Christmas to learn about the symbiote's purpose on Earth before Strickland is ordered to bring Venom down. While attaching themselves to the side of an airplane bound for New York City, Eddie and Venom are attacked by the Xenophage, tracking them and are forced to drop off into a desert field. Venom explains to Eddie that xenophages were unleashed into the universe by Null, the creator of the symbiotes, to retrieve a codex which is forged when the symbiote resurrects its host. This can free Null from the prison of the symbiotes trapped him in long ago. Because Venom revived Eddie once before, he now carries a codex that Xenophage has now tracked to Earth. After being ambushed by Strickland and his team while barely escaping from them and the Xenophage, Eddie meets Martin Moon and his family of traveling hippies and alien enthusiasts who offer him a free ride to Las Vegas on their way to Area 51. Meanwhile, Mulligan's new symbiote informs Strickland of Null's intentions with the Codex, which can only be destroyed if either Eddie or Venom dies. Arriving in Las Vegas, Eddie and Venom run into Mrs. Chen at a casino on vacation, and Venom shares a dance with her before being ambushed by the Xenophage again. Strickland's team arrives, separates Venom from Eddie, and takes them to Area 51, where Eddie reunites with Mulligan. Sadie frees Venom, who rebonds with Eddie after Strickland shoots him. This attracts the Xenophage to the base, killing Mulligan. Venom has the other confined symbiotes released, which bond with Sadie and other hosts to fight off the Xenophage, who has signaled to Null that the Codex has been found. Null sends more Xenophages through portals to Earth, overwhelming the symbiotes. Realizing he must sacrifice himself to destroy the Codex and save the universe, Venom merges with the Xenophages, leads them into acid tanks, and bids Eddie farewell before ejecting him as a mortally wounded Strickland sets off his grenades to destroy them. Payne bonds with a symbiote to save Sadie from the explosion, while Eddie falls unconscious as the base burns. Eddie later wakes up in a hospital, where a military official informs Eddie that his actions with Venom at Area 51 have earned him an expungement under the condition of keeping the events that transpired a secret. Arriving in New York City, Eddie gazes at the Statue of Liberty while remembering Venom. In a mid-credit scene, Noel declares that the universe is no longer safe from him now that Venom has fallen. In a post-credit scene, a panicked bartender escapes the burned remains of Area 51 as a black cockroach crawls out of the rubble next to a broken vial that previously contained a sample of the Venom symbiote.
Was that the sample with Venom?
Yeah, I guess it was because they never did anything with that one. We saw like his big when they actually captured Venom, we actually saw that, but I guess we never saw what they did with the little Venom sample that they got from the bar.
Okay, because I thought that was the sample that got freaking electrocuted that what's her face Payne took, because it had like that purple lightning on it. So I was under the assumption that was more of her symbiote.
Maybe I don't know, man.
Yeah,
You got me.
Yeah, even rewatching it at the end, I didn't catch it super clearly this time, but
Yeah.
I was just like, wait a minute, is that supposed to be Venom? Which would make sense. That would have been a fun little tease where it's just a cockroach gets freaking by Venom, but it just looked like it was still that lightning symbiote, the speedster one. So I was like, okay, that's kind of a confusing ending.
Yeah. One thing that I've seen I find really funny is people are because during this movie Eddie tells Venom oh, this has been the longest year of my life spending it with you, and Venom's just oh my god, we've been together for a year. And so everyone was just oh my god, look at what the Venom symbiote did to Eddie Brock, how much it aged him and all this stuff. And everyone's just guys, it's just Tom Hardy got older. That's all it is. They're don't try to freaking dive deep into
I know
shit.
you're reading too much into this, guys. What a dick move too.
Remember the first one came out in, was it 18 or 19?
18.
Okay, yeah. So, 6 years. Yeah, Tom Hardy's gonna age, guys. Doesn't matter that these movies take place within a year. Yeah, Tom Hardy's gonna age.
That's the most insane part for me, because
Yeah.
when he was talking about it being only a year, I was just like, yo, what?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, seriously, that's one hell of a year.
I know. That's the craziest thing for me to grasp, not necessarily how much it's aged Tom Hardy.
Oh man.
Dude, but getting right into the freaking story. This was the best story of the trilogy.
Yes, absolutely. And I think I liked it the most because we got to spend the most time with Venom and Eddie this time around. And honestly, that's what I want to see with these movies. I want to see these guys freaking butt heads or have a good time together. And so watching throughout the movie them as for how far that they've come together, and then unfortunately you have to see them go their separate ways at the end, which freaking, I don't know about you, but I teared up.
It got me.
Yeah.
It got me pretty.
Yeah.
I didn't quite cry, but I was on the verge. I was like,
what's funny is, and I think it's just because, your first time you're just oh shit, man, that really hit me. So I freaking remember the first time I saw this, and I started crying when he's saying goodbye to Venom, and then they do the whole montage in New York, which I love. The second time watching it, I teared up when they actually teared up a little when they actually have to say goodbye. But when they're doing the whole montage in New York, all I could do was just smile. I didn't actually cry at that moment. And so I one, I already knew what was happening, but two, just watching the previous two movies before seeing this again, I feel really impacted that scene.
Yeah.
And honestly, the whole ending, just because these two, this man and symbiote have been through a lot of shit together. And so you can completely understand why it is so hard for him to say goodbye. they had their tough times. Watch Venom Let There Be Carnage. Like, yeah, they definitely had their problems. But at the end of the day, and even Eddie says, my best friend is a freaking alien. Like, the Venom meant a lot to him, and like freaking kudos to them for like ending the story the way that they did with this movie, with Eddie and Venom.
This movie did the best job of making me feel like they were actually friends. In the first one, obviously it was kind of a get to know you situation and like kind of bonding. And then 2, it felt like Eddie was just like done with Venom. Like almost through the entire movie. Because I mean he's just sitting there while Venom's like tearing up the place and he's just deadpan, just like, I am so over it. And so I don't think 2 did the best job of making me feel like they were friends by the end. I think it was just more like a business arrangement to beat Carnage. This did the best job at making me feel like they're friends. Because Eddie was just so like, we're not eating anyone, and like, we're not doing this, we're not doing, like, he was so anti anything Venom wanted to do. And so when they were at the when they were going through and they find the dog fighting ring and everything, and Venom's just like, you take me to the best places. I was just like, I
loved that.
Yeah, like that felt so fun. And then like the panic that you could feel when they fell into the river after they'd been separated. And like you see Venom freaking chasing after Eddie, like taking over a fish. That was freaking sick. Like all the little animals that he took over.
That was so cool. That frog, like, oh god, that was awesome.
Yeah, and I liked that, and I enjoyed like this. Like I said, it made it feel like they were actually friends.
Yeah,
and like actually had like a close connection. And Venom did shit to piss Eddie off, but it felt like more friendship style than anything.
Yeah,
Like friendship irritation versus the second one where it was just he was just aggravated with him.
Yeah.
So the clips that went back to the second movie, I'm like, I'm not quite getting that vibe, especially after watching this in sequence.
Yeah,
I wasn't quite getting the vibe the second go around, but the third one, definitely fixed that. And what I liked about this too, the stakes felt real. I mean, because they were real.
Yeah.
Like I think that's one thing that these movies do really well with portraying is the stakes. The stakes are freaking solid. And with this one, Null, like he was kind of a super intimidating bad guy.
Yeah.
And I was like,
so the fact that you were able to catch the post-credit scene, what'd you think of that one this time around with him?
Pretty sick.
Right?
Pretty freaking sick.
Like, I don't know what
they're though.
Right, so badass. Like, I don't know where they're gonna take that now. If they're gonna
know.
Because like they've said, like, and Tom Hardy said, like, no, this is like the last time I'm playing Venom. Like, we planned 3 movies, we did 3 movies. That's all you're getting from me is Eddie Brock.
That's gonna be rough, dude.
Yeah. So I mean, but the director did say that, you know, like there is, even though this is the end of Eddie and Venom's story, clearly, as you can see in this movie, there's a lot of symbiotes that you can go with and maybe work their storylines in with Null. So
I don't know how I feel about the other symbiotes though.
I don't know. No one will ever be Venom.
I know. It's like, okay, cool. Like we got that what's her face, Christmas, and we got Pain. And like I feel like they could have a really cool dynamic. Like it'd be different, definitely like a sisters kind of situation. Which would be all types of interesting, but I don't think they set either of them up well enough to do that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
dude, if there's anything that felt super unnecessary, it was Payne's backstory.
Yeah, I mean, very tragic. That's really sad that, she lost her brother during a lightning storm, and he had so many dreams of working at NASA, and so she decides to, um, in honor of her brother, push for what he dreamed of. And you know what? That's a great sister right there, like truly. But yeah, I definitely agree. Like, definitely didn't need to dive as deep as we did into that character.
Yeah. That was the biggest like meh point for me in the movie.
What'd you think of Strickland's storyline?
Strickland wasn't bad.
Huh.
I don't know.
I personally felt like Mulligan was kind of wasted.
He was super wasted.
Which, because I love him in the second one. Like, he's one of the better parts of the second one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, for how long it's been since I've seen Leatherby Carnage, I straight up forgot who Mulligan was the first time I saw The Last Dance. I'm like they're just like, oh my God, he's still alive. Like he's actually, as long as we mend him with the symbiote, like he's going to be good. I'm just like, who the hell is this guy? Like, where the hell did he come from?
Yeah, it took me a second to remember who the hell he was. But dude, I was also, when they started saying that, like, oh, bond him with a symbiote, I'm like, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Like, they established in the first one, like, not everyone's compatible with symbiote.
Yeah, that's true. Because freaking like, even in the second one, when Venom and Eddie go separate ways, and he's trying to find someone else to inhabit their body, he freaking has to go to like Mrs. Chen and be like, yeah, none of these other people can take what I am. Like, they all just keep freaking dying on me.
Yeah. It's like that, I think, was the most bullshit moment of the movie, when everyone was just kind of getting a symbiote. I was like, this isn't vibing.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just because it's quick that they're able to like combat and everything.
No.
But yeah, that was the one thing that wasn't like super vibing with me. Even though his new symbiote, I was kind of bummed we didn't get to see his blue symbiote. But
oh yeah, that would have been so badass.
But his new symbiote was sick.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, Mulligan was freaking awesome this round. I loved those moments where it looked like he was like straight up floating towards like the glass.
Yeah.
I was like, oh dude, it was so unsettling. Like, just that lack of movement was just like freaked me out.
Yeah.
Oh
No, I agree. I know she doesn't get, like, it's mostly just cameos, but you know what? I would have loved if we got more Miss Chen in this movie.
dude, Chen is easily the best thing that's come from these movies.
Oh yeah, she's amazing.
She is an absolute gem. And I hope that we get more Mrs. Chen cameos in future Sony projects.
Yes, please. Because freaking when her and Venom are dancing and Eddie's just like, oh my God, I can't unsee that. Or he's just like, when the hell did you guys have time to choreograph this?
Dude, that just headcanon for me. That just puts in my mind that there have been nights that Venom leaves Eddie and takes over some rando person to go and practice this dance with Chen.
I could see it. Yep, I could see it. Oh man.
Oh, dude, I loved the dance. Was goofy. Like, don't get me wrong, the dance was goofy as all hell, and obviously just kind of act like they needed a fight scene in Vegas.
Yeah,
with the xenomorph, or not the xenomorph. That's Alien. Whatever you call it, the xenophage. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, I think you got it right.
Yeah, like whatever the hell you want to call them. That, like, it felt just like a plot device to get the xenophage to like come and give them a fight scene in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I kind of see through you there. But yeah, dude, the symbiote fight, bitchin'.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was so sick. I love the elemental factors between the different symbiotes. Like I love like the magma one, and then the one that was like all earth and just super strong and beefy. Like I loved when they were basically taking over like rando people.
Yeah.
Like I
No,
thought
that
it
was
was
super awesome.
super cool. And the xenophage too. Like that was super scary.
Yeah, like seriously. It reminded me a lot of Stranger Things for some reason.
It did. It had a like very much though. Like it was kind of a mix between like Stranger Things and freaking Quiet Place.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, but dude, the way that freaking like ate people and just like wood chippered them out of the back of its head, I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, that was disturbing.
Yeah, I like full blown just like freaking nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved even like the slower moments, like when Eddie's in the van with that family. Like that was such a sweet moment.
It was, yeah, that freaking song that they were singing, like, oh my god, my heart.
Oh, dude. And I love that like you hear Venom singing with them. Like I think that
Yeah.
just added to it. I was just like, oh man, like Eddie, you're such a buzzkill.
Oh, seriously.
Yeah, and I always forget that like other people can't hear Venom because the way that they're just like, what did you say? And he's like, nothing. Like, okay.
Because yeah, I forget like what he says to the family when he first gets there. But like Venom says something and Eddie has to be like, don't you dare. These beautiful children that you have, or some shit like that. He had to course correct that so fast.
Oh yeah, like you'd have to.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it took me forever to freaking realize where I knew the mom from.
Oh, dude, freaking, I knew immediately. Ted, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, I was sitting there, I was just like, gosh, I know her. Like,
And the
where?
freaking characters are just night and day.
Yeah. And so, like, the second I got like a really good look, like she said something, but it was like with that like the same face, and I was like, oh, I know who that is.
He's like, Mrs. Bennett.
Easily my favorite character from Ted.
Oh yeah, she's amazing.
Dude, she was such a gem. I love her, and I would love for that show to get more seasons.
I swear that Seth MacFarlane is working on season 2.
Oh yes,
Like it was greenlit for a season 2.
good. Anyway, it was just like the moments between Eddie and Venom were so genuine this go round, where Venom's like, oh, you lied to this child, and like almost like setting it up like he's going to call him out for being like shitty, and he's just like, you would have made a good father, and I'm like,
Dude, freaking Venom is like the best hype man also that you could have. Like he's just like, oh, you look so good in that suit. You could totally win sexiest man alive.
dude, straight up.
Favorite
part is when he kept knocking people out.
Yes. You know what? The guy that pissed on Eddie's shoes, he deserved that.
He did. He absolutely did. Dude, I listened to one show and someone pointed out that they had a problem with that scene. They're just like, Venom's supposed to be able to turn into any outfit that Eddie wants and blah blah blah. I'm like, shut up. Like it was supposed to be a fun. Yeah, in the comics, like
oh, okay.
Like Eddie can like walk around and it's supposed to be like part of his suit. Or like Spider-Man does it like when he has the symbiote, like he uses the symbiote to like transform or like become his clothes.
I mean, but in the movie's defense, like even in 1 or 2, that's never established.
Yeah.
That
like it was such a bullshit complaint.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not even gonna like freaking knock the movie for that. I think it deserves a pass when it didn't even talk about that.
I know. The only reason I brought it up is because like that dude didn't give it a pass. He's like, yeah, that's bullshit. And I'm like, you're so dumb.
Yeah, that is so dumb.
Yeah,
Oh my
like
gosh.
you can't judge movies like these. You can judge off the characterization. Like if you want to complain about how a character's not like the character in the comics, have at it. Like that's a
Yeah.
very valid complaint. But if you're complaining about a minor power and or something like that, like no, like that's a completely invalid. That's it's creative choice.
Yeah.
Like there's some things like yeah, you don't want to get the characterizations wrong. Like you want your characters to feel how they do from the comics, and I feel they nail that pretty good. Like Venom has the same vibe from like comics. Like he's a
Yeah.
goofy but intimidating character, and I feel like that's exactly who this Venom is. Goofy but intimidating. And I think they added a little bit more depth to him, making him a little bit more heartfelt. Like making those comments and just wishing for the quiet life with like living with Eddie in New York and seeing Lady Liberty and all these other like fun moments that obviously he didn't end up getting to experience.
Yeah.
And then his final sacrifice, dude, it was so drawn out to the point where it was almost painful to watch.
Dude, like seriously. And like, yeah, I mean, this is more so writing, but yeah, his line, "I won't forget you, and don't you forget me." You're just like, oh, damn.
Yeah. And even like with the like covering Eddie in the door so he's protected from the acid when he goes to like break the
Oh, dude,
canisters. I was
like,
like,
especially when like Eddie is like reaching for the symbiote arm, like like one last like touch with it, but it goes past him and grabs the door. I'm just like, oh man.
dude, heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Ugh, kicking this off. Where are you sitting with story, dude?
Like me and Caleb both agree, this is definitely not only the best movie of the three, but the best story, because you actually get a movie where it's focused on. I mean, the other two are focused on Eddie and Venom, but I feel like like Caleb pointed out, this one is where you can truly buy there's been a friendship that is bonded, or is that is formed over this past year, that they have been connected. And it's really cool seeing that in this movie. And by the end, when unfortunately Venom and Eddie have to go their separate ways, you feel bad. Like it actually brings you to tears, or at least it did with us, seeing these two separate. And so for a final movie in a trilogy, I think that the story did a really good job concluding not only each of these characters' stories, but also the bond that these two characters shared. So story, I'm thinking, where? Sorry, my like scroll thing, my scroll is being stupid. Why won't you let me scroll? There you go. I think story, I'm gonna be at like an 86.
Yeah, I'm actually a few points higher. I'm just below a 90, sitting at an 89.
Hell yeah.
I had a great time with this story. It was really well paced. It had a couple slow moments, but I think they were made up with either a comedic bit or just a heartfelt dialogue.
Yeah, completely get that.
All right, moving on over to writing. This is pretty on par. I'd say a little lower for me personally.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, like just jumping ahead. I'm going down a couple points to an 87, just because I feel like some of the dialogue was a little goofy at times. And then I also kind of wanted to dock for a lot of the stuff that what's her face Payne was saying. Like her, like I said,
Yeah.
her character just didn't feel super necessary. At least as much.
Yeah.
Maybe the character, yes. The backstory, no. Like I don't think we needed that much backstory. And if like let's say this does lead into her own franchise as a symbiote, we needed more. We needed something to
Yeah.
better solidify that setup. This felt
I
very
agree.
like one and done.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, for me, I think I'm also a little lower than my story. I think I'm going to be an 80. I think I'm going to be an 83. Still, like, the writing's still good. But yeah, I definitely agree with what Caleb said about Payne's character. And honestly, I would add the writing, even though we talked about it earlier, the writing for Mulligan's character, like, kind of just like I understand why they brought him back for the third one. Like it makes sense, but just there were moments that I'm just like, he feels so wasted. Like
He does. His symbiote was sick though.
yes, his symbiote was badass.
Yeah, like his symbiote, like when he was all symbioted up, like that was the bomb. And
Yeah.
I think the reason it didn't drop too far, like I said, only a couple points, was because of Null. Null's dialogue was freaking sick.
Yeah, that was pretty badass.
Like it was it was outstanding. Like it was definitely like one of those things where it just like sits with you. I'm like, all right, like I'm here for it. Like you've established yourself as an intimidating enough character, especially with all the like these symbiotes who seemingly have like unstoppable power are afraid of you. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, like the comedy hits, everything else hits exactly how it's supposed to.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. All right, moving on over to acting. Going through this cast list real quick, we got Tom Hardy, who played Eddie Brock and Venom's voice. And we got, Chiwetel Ejiofor, who played.
I'm pretty sure you said that right.
Yeah, who played Strickland. We got Juno Temple, who plays Dr. Teddy Payne. What is she from? I swear I recognize her face.
Let's find out.
Yeah,
Juno Temple.
Yeah, look that up while I go through the rest of these.
Okay.
We Clark Bacco, who plays Sadie. This was Christmas, right?
Wait, sorry. I gotta. Yes, yeah.
Okay, cool. We got Reese Ifans, who plays Martin, the hippie that picks Eddie Brock up. Alana Ubach, who plays Nova. Hala Finley, who plays Echo. Dash McLeod, who plays Leaf. Stephen Graham, who plays Detective Mulligan. Peggy Lou, who plays Mrs. Chen. Dude, she straight up looks like a CEO in this picture of her.
Yeah, right.
Like this looks like he's taken from like a web-based like employee website.
She doesn't really have a lot of pictures online.
Huh. That's surprising.
Right?
Yeah, and that is it.
So do you watch what was it? Ted Lasso?
Oh my gosh. That's that. Yep, I know exactly who she is.
Yep.
Dude, that was pissing me off
go.
so bad. And I saw a clip of her in that today. Gosh, I'm so dumb. Anyway. Top 3.
Number 1, obviously Tom Hardy. Once again, fantastic job in this role. I loved him in the first one, I loved him in the second one, and I loved him even more in this one. I don't think anybody else could play Eddie Brock as well as he does. No offense. Who played him in Spider-Man 3?
Topher Grace.
Topher Grace, thank you. You know what? With what he was given, I feel like he did a decent job, but Like Tom Hardy, like he actually portrays Eddie Brock as he should.
I'm agreeing with you. He does make the best Eddie Brock. Topher Grace, though, I don't think he got a fair shot.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
His characterization of Eddie Brock was pretty spot on. And I think given better material, I think he could have really ran with it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate he got done so dirty.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think he would have made a great Venom. Like a continuation of Venom.
Yeah.
Dude, everyone's like theorizing how this is going to tie into like future Spider-Man projects. And I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, they kind of like really screwed the pooch with some of their casting. Because like you can't really like throw this Venom in. Like this is like what they've created is like an independent Venom universe. Like this is you can't claim that this is part of the Spider-Verse.
No.
Like you can't claim that this is part of the MCU.
True.
And you can't like, and I think what they screwed the pooch on directly was casting the guy who played Lizard in Amazing Spider-Man as Martin in this. Because I think if they wouldn't have cast him, what you could have done that would have made you a shit ton of money. I would have loved to see this Venomverse connect to Garfield's. Like, finally give us Spider-Man, like Amazing Spider-Man 3. Like, how cool would that be?
That would have been awesome.
Like, I was thinking once they got to New York that there was going to be like a Spider Person there. And I was like, oh, is that freaking Spider-Man?
No.
But yeah, obviously that didn't end up happening. But yeah. Anyway, I guess Venom's just the anchor being for that universe, because that I mean the Venomverse is straight up it's gonna die.
yeah, it's true.
But yeah, I totally agree with you. Tom Hardy, numero uno.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd almost give him 1 and 2 for both Eddie and Venom.
Yeah. Can I cheat and say that? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know how the rest of the cast is, so I am fully endorsing cheating this round.
Okay, cool. So number 1, Tom Hardy, and then number 2, Tom Hardy playing Venom. But number 3, I would give to what's his name? That was the lizard.
Rhys Ifans.
Rhys Ifans. Yeah, I loved him in this movie. His whole family is great, but he's definitely the standout out of all of them. Yeah, he was just great every single time that he was on screen. And yeah, from like the very moment that him and Eddie have that interaction about aliens and how there's good and bad ones, and freaking just Eddie freaking Venom like looking at the place just like, oh hell no, and just like tosses it over his head. Oh, that was great. But yeah, no, he was fantastic. Whole family was, but Rise, right?
Yeah. Rise
Okay.
or Reese or whatever you want to call him.
Okay. Just edges out his family just a little bit. So yeah, that's my top 3.
This is gonna be a chore. You know what? I'll give number 3 to Juno Temple.
Okay.
She was a very, very interesting character, and someone that I feel like if they would have set up properly, I think has a very big potential for very fun and interesting symbiote movies. Like with how like just nice and peppy and cheery she is, like being almost corrupted by a symbiote, I think could make for some prime time viewing.
Yeah.
But she wasn't set up properly. And they gave us like some bullshit backstory at the beginning that they didn't that felt completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
Other than like once you see that she's like struck by lightning or whatever. And if, like I said, felt a little unnecessary,
I agree.
but I enjoyed her performance enough to be interested in seeing anything, including her later down the line. If she's the symbiote that we follow, which I'm assuming we do.
Yeah, that would make the most sense.
Yeah. Like a buddy cop with her and Christmas would be pretty fun.
It would be.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember. Does she keep her symbiote?
No, she doesn't. It gets eaten by.
That's right. So yeah, she's the only one with a symbiote.
Yeah.
Okay. So unless they retcon that, but
I guess we'll find out what Sony has planned after Kraven the Hunter.
oh man.
'Cause I don't think that they've announced any other Marvel projects, have they? I mean, besides Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Kraven's the final villain, like villain based movie. So,
Huh.
dude, I hope Kraven's good. I truly hope that it's good.
I do too, man. I really do. But the fact that the only good movies out of these Sony Spider-Man movies have been the Venom movies.
And even they're not top tier.
Yeah, they're just good. They're not great. I'm not holding my breath for Kraven.
That's super disappointing. Gosh, dude, and they freaking ruin like a bunch of villains that they could have included in the new Tom Holland movies. Like,
Yeah.
you can't freaking have Venom, or you can't have Tom Hardy's Venom in there. So if they do a symbiote storyline, like you can't have like our Venom. You can't have Kraven. You can't have freaking Morbius. And all of them have freaking bitch and storylines that connect to Spider-Man. And then you can't and then I don't feel like you can really include, like, you already used up Mysterio and Vulture.
Yeah.
I don't feel like you can use Green Goblin and Doc Ock.
No.
Like, you have literally nerfed any potential like storyline with Spider-Man and like villains.
Yeah, like seriously.
Like, dead ass, dude. Like, I can't think of another one off the, like, at least not quickly, off the top of my head that isn't Green Goblin, Doc Ock. Lizard. You can't use Lizard.
No.
Oh gosh, like, who the hell could you use?
Like, could you even use
Hobgoblin,
Hobgoblin? Yeah, I was thinking
But even that's like
that might
like,
be
we know
hard
what you're
too.
doing. Like, we know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. They shot themselves in the foot.
They really did.
Maybe freaking Chameleon.
What about Scorpion?
Okay, I mean, yeah, you've used Scorpion. You could use, so you got Scorpion, Chameleon. I don't know if you could do anything with freaking Scorpion that's longer than
That's
one movie.
True. Yeah. Dude, freaking I still hate that end credit scene went nowhere.
Yeah.
Because that is one of my favorite MCU end credit scenes, and I'm still peeved that it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, same here. Anyway, where are you sitting with acting?
Just because, no offense to everybody else, Tom Hardy kind of carries this movie.
He does.
And you know what? I'm just gonna say it right now. You know how like a lot of people say, Jennifer Aniston ages like a fine wine. I think Tom Hardy ages like a fine wine because he got hotter with each movie. But like, damn, that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. So like the other cast was decent. But I mean, we come to these movies to see Eddie Brock and Venom, and Tom Hardy did great. It's just everybody else that was just like, yeah, they were decent. They were okay. So I think acting, I'm gonna be at 88.
I am actually lower than you on this one. I'm sitting at 84.
Holy shit. Okay.
Like, listen, it's still above average,
Yeah, that's true.
but this movie cannot be completely carried by Tom Hardy.
Fair. No matter how attractive he is.
Yeah. All right, moving on over to character development. This is hard to do off of one movie alone.
It is. Yeah, this is definitely where you have to put into fact? Or no, that's not the word. I don't know. You have to look at all three. There we go.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
And I think this was a good conclusion to the storyline. This like established Eddie and Venom as a bonded unit. Like they're the most bonded unit, obviously, because they have the freaking, what's it called? I was about to say
Codex.
Matrix. The Codex.
Dude, I thought the same shit when they first said that. I'm just like, getting like Matrix up in here.
Yeah, so you got the Codex like with them, and like that's super interesting and fun and whatnot. But it's how they go about like, okay, we need to like escape the situation that we're in. We're heading here, and then they just get completely sidetracked because of these extraterrestrials like tracking them and hunting them down. Which, dude, for these, I'll say this: there's a big plot hole, or just like maybe a miswording here. The fact that Venom calls them the symbiote hunters, but they can't find them when they're not in full symbiote form, kind of bullshit.
Yeah, because like you think that with when Venom will just have it like literally just, I don't know what to say, like a bit of his body and then his head popping out of the back of Eddie Brock, they should be able to pick up something from that, right?
I know, at least like a general direction.
Yeah. Oh no, they can't see shit or detect shit when I'm just like this. I'm like, okay, yeah. No, like I would get, like when you're just talking to him in his body, like you're not nowhere to be seen. Completely get that. But yeah, when you're
So,
like showcasing yourself even just a little bit, no, they should be able to freaking track at least some of that.
Yeah. Dude, I'm like, where's that line then? Like, could you go full like Venom and just not do the face?
Yeah, no, like literally how they'll do like his like the Venom face will like split to show like not Tom Hardy, sorry, Eddie Brock's face. Would that count as like not being full symbiote?
In my eyes, yes. That would count as not full symbiote. But who knows with these freaking rules? Like, is it only when because it's on their neck? Like, is it only when their spine is completely covered in symbiote? Because like you can get around that.
Okay, really quickly, and I think this like goes. Sorry, I think this goes into writing, but I want your opinion. Okay, so in this, at the beginning of this movie, when they're in like that dog fighting place, they have that whole altercation where Eddie is just like, we are, and Venom just keeps going like, we're Venom, shit like that. He keeps going back and forth, and he's just like, we're gonna need to work on that. I swear in the first one, at the end, they do the same thing, but they actually get it right. Like,
yes,
together they're just like, we are Venom. So why is it like they F it up in this third one? Shouldn't that be
humor?
flip-flopped?
Yeah, for humor's sake, and two, maybe just Venom's too excited.
All right, Venom just got a little too cocky.
Yeah, like that's
okay.
That was my justification for it. That he's just too peppy and cheery about it, and he's like, yeah.
All right, I'll give you that.
Like, especially after like a badass fight like that.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, like I feel like they're a bit more, I don't know. But anyway, the connection between them is, I think I'm gonna like this is maybe where the movie is a little bit weaker in my opinion with character development, because we've seen them develop to this point, and then I don't feel like it necessarily took it anywhere too extraordinary, other than Venom being like ready to sacrifice himself for the sake of the planet.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. Like, yeah, like this opens right after the second one, and like honestly, throughout from the way that we see their relationship end in the second one, and then once we with this one, and then all the way to the end, it feels like it's kind of at a standstill with character development. Not saying that's a bad thing, but they're they definitely don't progress from where we ended them with Venom Let There Be Carnage, and once we get to Venom sacrificing himself at the end. And like it's not a horrible thing, because at least we know that how close they are by the end of Let There Be Carnage, and it's expanded on in this one. But I definitely see where you're coming from, where we don't get really much character development from either Eddie or Venom.
Yeah. I think the most growth that they have is is the second movie. Like this one, it is still like it's above average. Like, don't get me wrong. Like it's just not like super strong above that line. Like I probably sit like an 80 with this, because the sacrifice that Venom makes for the sake of the planet, after coming and being like more or less expressing like this is an invasion, and him completely changing his tune about it, and then so much so to the point where he's giving up his future on this planet for the sake of the planet, like it's a good arc. It's a really good arc. It's just I don't know if they played with it as well as they could have in here.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna match you there. I absolutely agree with everything that you said.
All right, moving on over to effects.
These were, I feel, just as good as the previous two.
I would agree. The action was awesome. Everything looked good. The symbiotes do have like a rubbery vibe about them, just because they're symbiotes.
Yeah, so
and they're like fully
kind of a given.
CG. Yeah, fully CG characters. Like you kind of have to get that rubbery vibe about them.
Yeah.
But other than that, like no real complaints.
No,
I think even they even improved on like Venom coming out as the head.
Yeah, that looks even better compared to the first one.
Yeah.
So kudos to them.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like the kid from the hippie family should have freaked out a little bit more at the sight of Venom.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh shit, because he didn't come out slow. He's like, "Bleh," and I was like you're gonna give the kid nightmares, Venom.
Even though Eddie says, "Oh, aliens do exist," and my best friend is an alien, not exactly a great way to persuade a kid to be like, "Oh yeah, aliens are great. They're not gonna harm me."
Yeah,
By having Venom just be like, "Hey."
Yeah, you're not a cute puppy, Venom. You're a terrifying monster with giant teeth and a mouth.
Exactly.
Oh, man. But yeah, I thought that like the effects overall were a pretty decent improvement.
I agree. 3 movies.
I'm not the highest, because there's definitely some shit here that looked fake. I'd probably go like 83. Like, what are you thinking?
I think I'm like one above you at an 84.
All right, next up we got music. The soundtrack here is pretty good.
Yeah, the freaking dancing queen while Venom and Mrs. Chen were grooving. That was great. The song that they chose when Eddie's remembering Venom. Like at first, I'm just like, I think you maybe could have picked a better song, but like as the montage went on, I'm just like, okay, you know what? Actually, this does fit well. I really liked that. And then freaking the One Last Dance song at the end credits, that song freaking went hard. Loved that. And then also, like when it started playing, I'm just like a freaking chorus. Like it works and it makes sense, but I'm just like a freaking chorus. The I had some help. It ain't like I can do this kind of stuff by myself. That Post Malone song. It freaking I forget what it's called.
Yeah, I know the song you're talking about. I don't remember the name of that.
I think it's
one
called
either.
I Had Some Help. Yeah, I had some help. Yeah. So I'm just like, it works, but I'm just like a freaking chorus. They're gonna put that in the end credits.
Yeah. Honestly, I think this was good enough to reach 8 status.
Do think of the same thing.
Yeah, like I think it had enough like good bangers that fit the tone of the scene. Like Dancing Queen, dude, like that's my freaking jam.
Oh yeah, same here, man.
As much as I hate to admit it, like yeah, that shit freaking hits hard.
I love it.
Dude, total side note, I've had such a weird music year. Like listening year. My Spotify Wrapped this year will live and die with me. I am so not excited for when those start rolling out.
So what you're saying is I got to get Brielle to sneak me some screenshots. Got it.
I will have to murder you. Like I wish I were joking.
Dude, freaking, you think yours is bad? You should have seen my top listened to one last year. I'm not proud of it. I'm really not.
Mine wasn't great either.
No.
But dude, I had months this year. Like just to give you a little hint at what my there was like a couple months where I was listening to nothing but freaking like Celine Dion and the Cats soundtrack.
I love it. I love it.
Dude, I seriously was sitting there like hating myself. I'm just like, what are you doing, Caleb? Like I would sit there just like completely rocking out, like blasting that shit. I'm like, I don't even know what you're doing right now, dude. Like, could you not be this way? And then I try listening to like my normal shit, and I'm just like, I was itching.
Same.
I know, like I'm like, God damn it.
Oh shit, dude. This is amazing. Oh my god.
Oh, but yeah, this year is gonna be so much. Like I'm gonna hate myself this year. Spotify Wrapped. Like I'll share my podcast listens because I'm not embarrassed by those in the slightest. My freaking music lives and dies with me, at least this year.
Oh shit.
All right. Moving on over to costumes, which this could also like tie into character design with some of the symbiotes and whatnot. Eddie and Venom consistently look great.
Yes, absolutely.
The new symbiotes, big fan.
Yeah, I agree. Like you brought up earlier, especially Officer Mulligan's, his looked so badass.
Oh, so cool. Like it almost gave like the vibe that he should be in like a forest. Like he was like he was just like a forest demon or something. Like it's so cool.
So cool. I don't know why, but I don't love symbiotes that have like the freaking like hair going on in the back.
The hair's goofy.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
All symbiotes should be bald.
Yeah, straight up. Which one was your favorite symbiote?
It was actually the one that takes over for I don't know if he was like the security guard or whatever, but like I think it was like the first guy that got taken over by a symbiote because he gets stabbed. But it's like the brown, like bulky symbiote.
Dude, same here.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, freaking loved him.
Yeah.
Like he looked so when he died, I was like, damn.
Yeah. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah. I also really like the white one, or like
Oh
the gray.
yeah.
Like he looks super cool. Like just
Yeah.
all like kind of gave some like symbiote Slenderman vibes.
Didn't didn't like two combine and like become twins for a second?
That was dope.
Okay.
Yeah, they
Oh.
just like they like looked at each other and he's like, yeah, and then they like charged and they just dove in. I was like, all right. Probably not the most effective use of having two symbiotes, but fair,
Yeah.
like cool enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Christmas's symbiote looked pretty sick too.
Yeah, I really liked hers.
Yeah. But I don't know if any of those are just like are super outstanding. This is where I'm tough. I'm between an 8 and a 9
I don't know. Personally, I would be at a 9. Sorry. Personally, I'm at an 8.
at an 8.
Yeah.
That's
It's a
about where I'm
strong
at
8.
too.
But
Yeah, like I said, I'd probably be at like an 8.5. But yeah, we always round down from there.
yeah. Yeah.
All right, last up we got personal score.
All right. Who's going first?
Up to you.
I want to hear your reaction first, if you're cool with that. Or your
Okay.
score first.
Yeah, so I've seen this twice. Once without the I can't say without. Once without having seen the first two in a long while, and then the second time right after watching the first two. And I gotta say, they are pretty consistent in quality in terms of action. The story is the biggest divide between these. If I had to put these in order, 3 would be my favorite, then it'd be 1 and then 2. And that's just because story or the 2's story wasn't super great. But I had a great time with this one. It was well written. Yeah, well written. It was fun. It was kind of everything I wanted this movie to be, honestly. Like I wanted this to be on the same level and improve upon 2, and it did. Like full-heartedly. And like I said, the action was sick. There weren't any action beats in here that were wasted. Like everything looked really, really good. And yeah, came out of it having a really good time. It emotionally connected with me. Like didn't get me like weeping or anything, but it definitely like tugged at my heartstrings a bit. So honestly, I'd probably put this maybe an 86. Like it's up there. It's up there for me, and one that I definitely plan on re-exploring. Like doing like a full rewatch of the trilogy and whatnot. Like I enjoyed this a lot.
Oh yeah. Yeah, honestly, I agree with everything that Caleb said. The Venom movies are consistently good, I feel. I mean, the second one is definitely the worst out of the 3, and I'm the same order with Caleb, 3, 1, 2, when it comes to an order that you like these movies. But like, yeah, like for the most part, I feel like these movies are consistently good. They're not great. They're not great comic book films, but you come to them to have a good time. You come to watch Venom just be Venom and watch freaking poor Eddie Brock have to deal with Venom. And that's always, I feel like, one of the funnest parts of these films is just their relationship, their banter. It's fantastic. And once again, Tom Hardy was fantastic in this role. He didn't miss a beat. This is, I feel, his best performance out of the 3. Just yeah, it's a solid cap off to a trilogy. Like yeah, I do have some problems like Caleb did, but I'm happy with the end result. And yeah, I had a good time with Venom: The Last Dance. So I'm just gonna be slightly below Caleb at an 84.
Hell yeah.
Did my personal score submit?
Nope, but I'll fix that.
Okay, that was weird. Thank you.
All right, going through these categories real quick. Starting off with story, we ended up averaging out to an 87.5. Writing is sitting at an 85. Acting is sitting a little bit above at an 86. Character development was the weakest category, sitting at an 80. The effects are sitting at an 83.5. Music and costumes both sitting at an 8 out of 10. And then our personal score ended up averaging out to an 85. So with that, the final All Bros letter grade for Venom: The Last Dance has come out to a B.
All right. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Here, let me. All right, let's find out where this is sitting. All right, Venom: The Last Dance, like I said, is sitting at a B. It's a mid B for sure. So our B, it's between an 86% and an 83%. And this is sitting at an 84.6% or 0.62.
Not bad.
Yeah. So that actually sitting where or showing where that's sitting in our ranking. That is sitting below The Matrix Resurrections,
Okay.
The Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Hmm.
It is below Megan.
Okay.
It is below The Little Mermaid remake.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that one's surprising.
Oh.
And then it is below Hocus Pocus.
Okay. I can buy that.
Yeah, and then it is sitting above Christopher Robin.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. It is above Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
It is above Prey.
Yeah. I agree with that.
It is above Joker Folie à Deux.
That kills a little bit, but that's okay.
That's above it?
Wait, you said Venom's above it, right?
Yeah, Venom's above Joker.
Yeah, that kind of stings a little bit, but it's okay.
Oh, all right.
Come on, man. You know how much I loved Joker Folie à Deux.
Yeah, and then finally it is above Avengers Age of Ultron.
Wow. Okay. Damn.
Yeah. And in comparison to the other Venom movies, it is sitting above both of them.
Okay. Good.
But
Okay.
damn, we gave Venom a C?
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, we're mean.
Yeah, we were. Shit.
Deserves at least a B minus.
We may need to re-explore that one because we have Let There Be Carnage at a C+.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we definitely gotta.
Yeah, something got jacked up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so our All Bros ranking as it sits right now is the Last Dance, Let There Be Carnage, and then Venom.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, because it's like, like off the top of my head, I would say with Venom: The Last Dance getting a B, Venom deserves a B minus, and then Last Carnage, I guess, a C plus.
Yeah.
So,
Or at least it'd end up being a super high C plus if it was in the C plus range.
yeah.
But that is one of those movies that got graded by outside sources. So
That explains it.
yep. But anyway, so that's where it's sitting.
All right. Well, unless you got anything else you want to say about The Last Dance or Venom:
That
The
I
Last Dance.
do not.
Okay. Well, if you liked what you listened to on this episode and want to hear more, be sure to watch. Wow. Listen. God damn it. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. We are damn near everywhere. Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes. Is it iTunes Podcast?
Apple
I always forget.
Podcast.
Apple Podcast. God damn it. How do I forget that? And I'm a freaking iPhone user. Like, what the hell is wrong with me? Whatever. Yeah, literally, you can find us anywhere. If you want to check out our social media, where we post like mini reviews, stuff like that. God, I'm really effing this one up.
No shit,
you can
dude.
find us. Jeez Louise. You can find us at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I think that's it. Did I miss one?
Yep.
Okay, cool. If you just search at the All Bros, you can it's the All Bros, right? Not just All Bros?
What?
For social media.
Yeah, it's at the All Bros.
Okay.
It's right there in the freaking corner, Rose.
I'm sorry, man. Okay. I'm losing it this episode, okay? Cut me some
Yeah.
slack, man.
Yeah, it's in the corner if you're watching the video.
Yeah.
Which Rose is staring right at it.
And Caleb is being an asshole. No offense.
Oh shit. Where's my finger going?
There
Pay attention.
There you go. But yeah, so you can check us out on all those social media platforms. You can also check out our website, tinyurl.com/the Allbros. You can check out our website, tpublic.com/the Allbros channel. And then if you want to get in contact with us, you can email us at theallbroschannel@gmail.com. Next week on the podcast, we will be breaking down The Wild Robot, which super solid animated film. I'm really excited to talk about this one.
Yeah, super excited for that one.
But until what the fuck is wrong with me? But yeah, you can look forward to that next week. But until then, this has been the All Bros podcast. I am Jonathan, the effer upper.
And I'm Caleb.
And we'll catch you guys next week. So long.
Deuces.